Well, I think we may have a problem on our hands today. You guys see this? Like, you see all these houses over here? It's great, right? Now, when you just look over here to the other side, there's nothing out here. And that is one of the biggest problems that we're facing in today's market in Albuquerque, is that we don't have any homes to sell. But what does that really mean for you if you're looking to sell or buy or relocate here to the 505 in 2026 and beyond? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna be going over a few things that you should know if you are planning on buying, selling, or relocating here to the Southwest. That is gonna be very important, very detrimental to your next decision. So there's this weird thing happening in our world right now here in Albuquerque where people are actually asking us, are people relocating? Are people leaving? Should I wait to buy? Should I wait to sell? And depending on who you ask, the answers are gonna be all over the board. Now, I have a bunch of different topics to talk to you about in relations to what's happening in the real estate world and everything you can expect to the realness of what the 505 is dealing with. I bring up the 505 a lot today in this video. I don't know why. Maybe I got tired of saying Albuquerque because it's just so damn long sometimes that I get tongue-tied. But anyways, talking about the elephant in the room and what we're dealing with here, and to be honest with you guys, it's gonna be the main thing, right? The supply and demand of houses for people who either already live here or that are relocating here. Now, I want you to take a look at something real quick. So right down there, right, you see that 971 homes? Those are all the homes for sale right now in Albuquerque. That's not even a 2-month supply, which means that in the next 2 months, most of those homes out of that 900 and some homes are not gonna be up for sales. Right now, we're facing a big issue when it comes down to the housing shortage, especially in the affordable realm. You're talking about almost 20,000 plus homes that we need in the supply. And I know that the market is moving and new homes are coming on the market every day, but it's still not enough. And I'm sure you're confused, right? What should you be doing right now if you are looking to relocate, buy, sell? Like, it's so confusing, it's hard, I get it, I understand. I'm in the mess with you guys, right? I'm looking to purchase a house myself right now, and I'm looking at all of this. I'm looking at even building a house, which I never thought I would do in a million years, because building a house sometimes just for me, honestly, just takes too long, and there's just so many other things that I got going on that building a house for my own personal needs is just something that would just bring me down a lot more, right? But what you should be doing if you're a buyer is you should be looking for opportunities. Look for those opportunities with the houses that have been sitting on the market for a long time. You're talking about 30, 60, even 120 days, because there's something there. Majority of the time, what I'm seeing here in Albuquerque is that homes that sit long are just priced too high. And you can negotiate a price reduction, closing costs, a buy down rate, repairs. Like, there's so much that you can do right up front, out the gate, when it comes to these houses. On the flip side, if you're a seller, you kind of get the gist, right? If you price too high, you're gonna sit too long. If you're using data from last year, you're already starting off on a bad foot. Like, you should really take a look at data from the past 90 days. And any realtor that allows you to sit on the market because, hey, this house sold for this much last year, we should try to get this, you're already setting yourself up for failure. So what I recommend is price a little bit below on the recent data. That way you can bring that competition in from those people who didn't get an opportunity to buy the house, because I'm sure they're still out there, right? And if you present your property well and you're the house that shows the best on the block, of course people are gonna be interested in going to see your house and potentially make an offer, right? Ton of opportunity on both ends. If you're relocating here, I can tell you that all of this applies. There's so much that we can do to help you out, especially if you are relocating, because where you're possibly coming from, the price points are probably double anyways. So one thing about spring in New Mexico is the wind is crazy. I'm looking at the camera outside of my house right now, and look at this tree on how it's blowing. That's crazy. It's another reason why we had to come inside, because I am not dealing with these allergies again. Last week I was down for the count. I had already recorded this video and I had to shoot it all over again just because Yeah, like we'll just leave it at that. But if this is your first time tuning into the Living in Albuquerque channel, welcome. My name is Eli. Go ahead and hit that subscribe notification bell down at the bottom. That way you never miss out on any videos, because I am dropping videos every week talking about what this awesome state of New Mexico has to offer and all the cities within it. Now, if you are planning on relocating down here, or you're looking to sell a house, if you are a local watching this, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. And as much as I love doing these videos, I would love to also help you out with your real estate needs. So call or text at any time, because I'd love to chat with you. But what about all the people leaving? Everybody's leaving New Mexico. New Mexico sucks. I'm here to set the record straight, because this is something that just drives me nuts. Because when you look at the data, what GAR says, the Greater Association of Albuquerque Realtors and all that stuff, and what NAR says, you see that the information says different. So I pulled it up for you guys right here real quick. If you see that there, right? In 2025, 1,500 people moved here. 1,500 plus people moved here, right? It's not the 8,000 people that were relocating here back in 2022, but nevertheless, we're still net positive. There's still people looking to relocate here. Yes, I know it's hard to believe. People are still actually relocating here, and it's not rocket science to figure it all out on why. It comes down to the lifestyle, the cost of living, and everything that we have to offer as far as like our environment goes. Our climate's good. We don't deal with natural disasters like any other state would. We don't got hurricanes, crazy floods, even though Ruidoso did flood last year. God bless their soul. And every now and then somebody thinks it's cool to start the bosque on fire, but they pretty much get that under control right away. But when it comes down to it, cost of living is lower, 10 to 20% less expensive than most major cities, so you aren't gonna pay $10 for a tank of gas, right? Especially nowadays. When it comes down to lifestyle, it's a slower pace. People are chill here. The culture is awesome. The food is great. There's just so much to look forward to here within the diversity that we have within our community, that it makes life that much easier. And with the ease of life, people are actually getting more attracted to this whole thing, right? They're getting tired of the whole hustle culture, rat race thing, that they almost feel like they need to slow down and take a break. Everything is just moving so fast in these days that getting to normal is something that everybody is seeking. So with all of this here, we didn't see any like huge drops. Of course, things aren't like they were. If they were, we wouldn't be able to sustain it anyway. So it's probably a good thing that things normalized and we're going back to a steady pace of growth versus actually exploding when it comes down to the thing. I'm totally bothered right now, because all the people that keep saying that the real estate market is going to crash, it's 2008 all over again. And granted, I was in middle school when 2008 was happening, but what I can say about the Albuquerque market right now is that there ain't no crash happening anytime soon. I've been hearing this for the past 2 years. And as somebody that's in the game, looking at all the data, I can tell you that most of these headlines are just trying to steal your attention. So if it's not crashing, then what's really happening there, Eli? And I'm just gonna be honest with you. Things are starting to get normal, and that makes me excited for the simple fact that you're not gonna have these sellers that are just gonna be playing a ton of hardball. Yes, you might still run into some from time to time, but truth of the matter is that most sellers are going to be open to negotiations and being brought back down to reality because their house hasn't sold in the past 90 days. So there's that. And for buyers, the only unfortunate thing is that with the lack of inventory that we have here, sometimes you may have to get creative in the thing of, you know, what you're looking for. You may have to explore different neighborhoods. You may have to step outside of the box to an area that you may have never even considered. And that's why I always recommend to come down for a visit. If you're a local and you just can't get out of that local mentality of like the North Valley and the Northeast are like the best thing, like there's other neighborhoods nowadays that can offer a lot more, especially on the west side when it comes down to it. But hey, to each their own. I'm only here to help you and give you more information, especially with the weird market that we're in. I'm seeing it all right now, and it just makes me super excited to see things get back to normal. Just read the writings on the wall. There's two things really driving this right now, and that's gonna be interest rates and the seller's behaviors. Like sellers pricing aggressively right out the gate and really putting a lot of buyers to the side that they could potentially sell their house to because they're trying to get the most money out of this property, and I totally understand, is really hurting a lot of people because the interest rates just don't match up. When you're looking at interest rates going back up into the 7%, you're looking at people spending a lot of money just for an average home. I bought my house in 2016 and I got a 3% interest rate. So being in that group of somebody that's looking for a house currently and having that type of interest rate and having to almost triple my payment, it hurts. It doesn't make sense. And I feel and I understand for you if you're in the same boat. You know, when I started this channel about 2.5 years ago, I had hair. It's all gone now. Talking about the real estate market in today's world has really got me stressed out, more for you than myself, because I feel like I'm the coach that has given you all the right plays and guided you in the right direction. Now it's up to you to make the decision on who you're gonna pass it to, right? You're the quarterback. In today's world, when it comes down to this aspect, what I remind buyers is that you don't have to feel pressured. I know right now it's the fourth quarter, we're down by 10, and it's really riding on you to make the right decision. But here's the weird thing. In this decision-making process, it's like you're almost on the field by yourself, feeling the pressure of none, right? Because the competition is very slim. There's not a ton of people out there buying homes right now. The only pressure you have right now is if you are comfortable with making that higher payment. And if the house makes sense to you, and if you're okay with stomaching that payment for the next 2 to 3 years while interest rates get back down to something normal, right? Talking about 5%. So that's the pressure that you're gonna feel. But when it comes down to making the decision of whether or not this is gonna be a good house to buy, you have time. You don't have to make the decision right then and there because there's more than likely not going to be 100 people making an offer on that one house. So all of that put together, what does it really mean to you? And is the market good? Is the market bad? And I'm just gonna be honest with you, it's neither. It's what you make of it and the opportunities that are out there for you, and really putting together why you're looking to relocate to Albuquerque or why you're looking to move to a certain neighborhood. Do you have enough equity in your home to where you can stomach making that bigger payment or putting more money down to be able to lower your payment? Like, all of these different things are going to be subjective to you and your situation. So this information that I'm giving you, it could be totally irrelevant, or it could not be, or maybe could help you with that next step to figure out whether or not this is going to be a good move for you and your family. Closing thoughts on all this, because I want to make sure that you understand that if this is going to be a good decision for you and you're looking to make a move in Albuquerque or move to Albuquerque, the people that are winning right now are usually the people that aren't trying to time the market. They're not looking to make their next investment, flip, or whatever the case is. The people that are winning right now are thinking about a few things. They're really thinking about the long term, 5-10 years, and what that looks like. They're thinking about their lifestyle. What are they looking for when they move to this certain area or relocate to Albuquerque? And they're also thinking about their budget. What can they do that will keep their monthly payment at a certain range that won't necessarily stretch them or make them house rich, right? Nobody wants to do that. This is what we're seeing in today's world that is helping a lot of people actually make good decisions, and people are getting a lot of great deals right now. And if you're potentially looking to get a great deal, or you're looking to call Albuquerque home, that number popping up in the screen here is my direct line. Feel free to call or text me at any time. I'd love to chat with you just to discuss all of this into detail, show you the map of all the different homes on the MLS, and just really create a strategy for you to be able to make this move a lot easier and a lot more seamless. But if you're not ready, again, there's a link in the description down below for you to download a relocation guide. Go ahead and get it. We're gonna be updating it at some point this year because it's old information right now in some parts, but nevertheless, there's still a ton of great information in there that can help you with making a better decision when it comes down to buying a house here in Albuquerque. So I hope you got some great info from this. If there's anything I can do for you, feel free to call or text me at any time, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.